Welcome to this episode of Building Better, where we take a look at the trends, techniques and technologies that are making tomorrow's spaces altogether smarter. And it's smarter that we're focusing on in this episode, namely how we can apply the science of insulation to restore, revitalise and regenerate our communities. We've seen a lot of stories in the media about the huge issues facing the social housing sector. Health risks from inadequate levels of insulation and ventilation, which can lead to the formation of black mould, for example. And the UK government has responded with the Social Housing Act. This landmark piece of legislation aims to safeguard tenants by protecting them from issues such as poor treatment, but also improving the quality of their homes. If it's to be upheld in practice, everyone in the construction industry needs to take an holistic approach and ensure that best practice is employed. In this episode, we'll be examining how we can do all of this, looking at new approaches to retrofit and refurbishment, courtesy of Adra, a housing association in North Wales. So let's begin with a challenge, and it's no small task. How do you retrofit in totality, creating warmer homes to ensure tenants' health and well-being, whilst upgrading your property portfolio of around 7,000 homes at the same time, meeting government targets with the minimum energy performance standards?
Adra is a large housing association operating across North Wales. Adra own and manage around 7,500 properties. So we are responsible for the well-being of around 20,000 people. It's a big challenge for us in the social housing sector. If you look just at North Wales, there's probably about 40,000 social homes across the region, and all will require a retrofit programme. And the Welsh Government have announced that all social homes will need to meet certain standards. We call Wales Housing Quality Standards 2 by 2034, with a SAP rating of 92 by 2034, which is a massive challenge. And that means a lot of work on the retrofit agenda, on the decarbonisation agenda, on solar panels, on exterior wall insulation, on air source heat pumps and so forth. So it's going to be a massive programme across the region.
In the UK, I think there's still around 6 million solid wall homes. So those are houses which don't have a cavity with insulation in, so are totally uninsulated. So you can basically put a big tea cosy around the house. Obviously you can improve the efficiency of houses or reduce fuel costs by using things like solar panels, ground air source heat pumps, things like that. But ultimately, if the property is not insulated, you're still going to spend a lot of money heating your property. The biggest challenge in retrofit is unintended consequences, and obviously the one everybody knows is mould. So as well as putting obviously insulation onto the wall, retrofits are much more than that. It's all around moisture management. How do you control the warm, wet air that's in the property, get it out of the building rather than have it stuck in the building where it can cause issues like mould. And a lot of that is considering ventilation, increasing the amount of ventilation that you've got, and also maintaining ventilation around combustible appliances like gas fires, cookers, etc. So it all starts with a simple, or not so simple, inspection of the property, see its current state. Is there any damage that may cause problems? Things like leaky gutters on the outside and water running down the face of the brickwork, obviously. So moisture problems aren't always caused. Everybody always blames rising damp for moisture. Moisture comes from a million one places, not just up through the ground. So there's a lot of funding around at the moment through the government to obviously work on these properties and support large social housing companies like Adra to upgrade their houses for the benefit of the tenants.
What we want to do is to use that investment as a catalyst to support the foundation economy. We were all aware of the skills shortage. We were all aware of the need to build the resilience within the construction industry. We were all aware of the need to try and develop more local supply chains. And we saw this as an opportunity to develop a facility to address, in particular, the skills shortage, and to try and bring a former industrial building which had been empty for about 3-4 years, back into productive use. The opportunity came to purchase this building. It used to be Kruger factory. They were producing and manufacturing toilet rolls, paper factory, and they used to employ around 120 people when it closed about 5 years ago. And that was had a massive impact on the local economy, the local community here in the Llandrillo Valley. Many of those that lost their jobs were our tenants, were from our communities. So there was a lot of work between various organisations to support those who lost their jobs. So that had a devastating impact on the local area, no doubt about that. So it's quite ironic really that this building that employs so many people from this community is now hosting so many industries, hosting a lot of organisations involved in a skills agenda to try and transform the lives of our tenants, our communities, and to try and ensure that they're equipped with the appropriate skills in view of opportunities coming from the green economy, coming from the decarbonisation agenda. We had a competition with the local school here in Llandrillo Valley, and we asked the children in the school to come up with a possible name for the decarb hub, because to be honest with you, we didn't have a clue what name we would choose. We had different options, but fair play to them, the school children came up with a classic name called Tŷ Gwyrddfai. Tŷ means house, Gwyrdd means green. Gwyrddfai is a name, an old administrative name for this area. So it combines house, combines the green elements and also the old administrative name for this particular area. So it brings all those components together, but only children probably could have come up with a name like that, not anybody like us.
We've seen that upgrading and uplifting even the largest property portfolio is a remarkable but achievable feat, and that insulation and moisture management are major parts of any solution. Just because a building has been upgraded or refurbished, it still needs constant care and maintenance to stay not just compliant, but comfortable. Making long-term compliance and comfort a reality means engaging and empowering the community, giving tenants more power and responsibility over their homes, as well as upskilling them to not just take care of their own space, but potentially opening up new career pathways and opportunities too. Let's head back to North Wales to find out how Adra Housing Association went about this challenge.
So my name's Gareth, so I'm the Centre Manager for KEIST, which is the Centre for Infrastructure, Skills and Technology. We are part of Group Llandrillo Menai, which is the largest further education college in Wales. So currently we're on the journey with renewable green skills, with a variation of different types of courses, from solar PV panel installation all the way through to retrofit courses. So we've been involved with Adra now for the last 3 years. Basically when the first seeds were planted about Iwan Trefor's vision of establishing a decarbonisation hub. So we've been an integral part of that planning process. We've started from nothing and we've ended up where we are today with a fantastic centre which provides different levels of training of how we are going to decarbonise our homes. It's a true and unique partnership. So collaboratively we've all got the same vision of how we support the local supply chain, how we then support manufacturers with research and development, and then how we support the residents of Adra housing stock in decarbonising their homes, in ensuring that the supply chain has the right skill sets to enable them to win contracts with Adra and other housing associations. So British Gypsum is a prime example of how the collaboration and partnership working we have here works to deliver the specific product training, and then we can then add value to that through offering accreditation training.
I'm James Maclean. I am Head of Training Academies, which means I'm responsible for our customer training offer, and that can be anything and anybody from somebody who's wanting to learn how to put a petition up in their house through to an architect, a designer, a main contractor, a plasterer who's wanting to add an extra skill. We provide training to all our different customer types. And so there's sort of three approaches we're taking at the facility. One is to support the local colleges in the area. They're all starting to build their qualification database, so increasing the amount of retrofit qualifications that they do, including insulation measures. Obviously their current instructors don't have the sort of knowledge and skills, so we're going to support them with trainer sessions, and not just on the installation of the products, but that wider moisture management and building science side of things. We're also going to support the trainers once they start delivering with toolbox talks, again on our specific solutions. We're obviously going to be working with Adra, upskilling their local contractors. Obviously they like to use a local workforce, they don't want to bring workforce from outside into the area. And then finally, from a CSR perspective, actually working with Adra, they do a lot in the local community, so bringing some of the tenants into the facility and doing training with them on the solutions that are being installed in their homes, and hopefully maybe ignite a spark to want to get into construction and then support them through the local college. So it's a real sort of triangle of support that we're going to be providing to Adra.
One of our prime objectives is to keep the pound as local as we can. It's to provide support mechanisms and training opportunities for the local supply chain, because without that, then the local supply chain and the communities around us, which is quite a poor community, they're going to suffer. So by us being here and being able to offer that level of training ensures that the local people get opportunities to train and upskill in the necessary green skills. Mae'n hynod o bwysig I ni gadw'r iaith Gymraeg yn fyw yn y gymuned yma. Da ni'n mewn ardal Cymreigaidd iawn, a mae'n bwysig I ni cael ymlaen yn y Cymraeg. So beth da ni'n trio wneud ydy hyfforddi yn y iaith Gymraeg lle da ni'n gallu, a mae hynna weithiau yn dipyn bach yn anodd oherwydd mae rhai o'r awdurdodau sydd efo'r cymwysterau yn pwysleisio bod ni'n gyfynnu trwy'r iaith Saesneg. Ond mae rhan fwyaf o tiwtoriad ni yn Gymraeg, so da ni'n siarad Cymraeg yn y sesiynau dysgu. So we're quite in a rural position in terms of the location of Tŷ Gwyrfai. And if you think about Gwynedd being a really, really big area, and the travel time from the south of Gwynedd to the north of Gwynedd, it could be up to an hour, hour and a half. So by being located in Tŷ Gwyrfai, it gives opportunities for people who live about an hour, hour and a half away to access real training. And without that, they'd have to travel probably another 30 miles to our other centre on Anglesey. So again, this is in a prime location in terms of serving the needs of the local economy.
So we've got at the Hub, we sponsor one of the big lecture rooms which seats around, well, if you take the tables away, but it's seating about 30 people. It's a big training room, but then in the practical areas we've got 3 training bays which are a similar size to the training bays which we use in our own academies. So it's perfectly set up there to operate as a academy for our own use. From my perspective, and really from an SGIS perspective, it's about supporting the local community to improve the world that they live in, improve their own properties, bring some of those people into construction who are currently unemployed, inspire some of the younger people in the area to come into construction. That's ultimately, as well as obviously sell product and material to improve the properties, but actually bring people into construction, because wherever you go in the country there's a skill shortage, not just in the major cities, it's across rural areas as well. So we need to support that through initiatives like we're doing at Adra.
We can offer courses like awareness courses on how a solar panel works, how a battery storage works, and that is primarily one of our sort of plans moving forward, is that we'll invite tenants from Adra here to have a look and have a go at some of our kit so that they can get a better understanding of what solar panel is, how does it work, how does it create an advantage to them to lower their energy bills. And again, we'll do the same with air source heat pumps as well. So there are opportunities there for the layman as well.
So this is the first time really that we've set an academy, away from one of our core bases. It's really in line with what we want to do and take training into the communities rather than expect everybody to come on training courses at one of our own academies where they have to travel. We're not ruling out extending what we've done with Adra. It's just about finding the right partners. Adra was really a perfect storm in terms of we had some initial connections through a sister company, but like I mentioned, once we started speaking to them, it was quite apparent that our values really sort of merged and were aligned, and that was really key for us. People feel that they've got similar projects and they would like our support to deliver retrofit at scale, then they can get in contact with the Build Better Academy.
As we've seen, retrofitting doesn't just transform buildings, it can rejuvenate whole communities. And with the Social Housing Act, as well as the combined efforts of designers, builders and tenants themselves, we're building a better future for families across the UK. That's all we've got time for in this episode, but we're always looking to hear your stories and experiences of retrofit and refurb projects. How do they come around? What materials and techniques did you use? And what results have you seen? Get involved and share your views on our social channels. As well as always, you can keep up to date at the Building Better Hub. But for now, we'll see you soon on another episode of Building Better.